What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for another Tottenham update. A few bits to get through today, mainly transfer news. And the first one from Tutto Mercato Web talking about Kalidou Koulibaly. And they say Tottenham now hold an interest in Napoli centre-back Kalidou Koulibaly. Obviously, he's been one of the best centre-backs in Europe for a number of years now. 30 years old. Only played 23 games this season.
But due to injury, probably?
Most likely due to injury. I can't see here, but contract ends 2023. Do you think that's a viable option for us?
Well, if he's got a year left, then he wants to, it depends if...
At that age as well, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, why not? I think so. Because I think he's a kind of defender who... could probably play for a few more years. I think I remember a few years ago. When was it? Maybe a couple of years ago. He very nearly moved to Chelsea for like 80 million, didn't he? And for one reason or another, that kind of broke down at the last moment. But he's a defender I've been a massive fan of, and I think he's left-footed as well. If I remember,
Right-footed. It says.
Is he right-footed?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he plays on the left though. I'm pretty sure he plays on the left centre back. So I'm pretty sure I've seen him play there. So I think he'd be perfect for us. I think he's a fantastic defender. I think he's done a brilliant job for Napoli, and I think it would be a massive upgrade on what we have at the moment. Even though maybe he wasn't, I think his stock again isn't as high as it was a couple of years ago. But I do think if we get him back to his best, I think he's an unbelievable defender. Yeah,
he did miss quite a bit of the season just before the AFCON with an injury, and then obviously he went to the AFCON as well. So. That's why he was out for a number of games this season. But yeah, I would love this signing. I think he would be brilliant in our back line. He would slot in straight away.
Adds more physicality as well.
Massive, yeah. I mean, he's an amazing physical presence, isn't he? And I think that captain of Senegal as well, so he's got that leadership quality about him. I think he's captain of Napoli as well. So yeah, that's one that I would absolutely love through the line. And I think that if you're comparing him to maybe a De Vrij, who would you kind of go for?
I think De Vrij is probably a bit better on the ball, but I think Koulibaly is just so monstrous at the back. Like, he just seems unbeatable at times. It'll be difficult to not go with him. They're both pretty much the same age, aren't they? De Vrij maybe a bit younger. I think I'd go for Koulibaly.
Me as well.
Although I think Koulibaly might have worse injury problems. I think this isn't the first time he's had a few injuries, if I remember rightly.
And what you were saying about his stock not being as high as it previously was, I mean, Transfer Market have his market value as 40 million. A few years ago, it was as high as 70 million.
Well, there you go.
So,
and that could be his contract as well.
Yeah.
1 year left in the summer.
So that's that. Kalidou Koulibaly. Next up from Calcio Mercato, they talking about Adrien Rabiot, and they say Tottenham could attempt to sign Juventus midfielder Adrien Rabiot for around 12.5 million this summer. He's a name who, you know, we've been linked with him a number of times over the years, and maybe a few years ago I would have taken it, but now probably not.
Yeah, me too. I was really in favour before he moved to Juventus. Was it Juventus now? When he was going from PSG, I thought he was under Pochettino. He could develop into a really good player. He's gone to Juventus, and I'm pretty sure they don't. He's very hot and cold, but when he's cold, he's like useless.
He's played 4 games and he's played 28 games actually in the league this season.
He's a very frustrating player, though. He's one of those players where when he's good, he's really good, but when he's having an off day, you might as well be playing with 10 men. He's really frustrating in that way. He's obviously got great quality on the ball. I don't think he's the right fit for us. I've got a feeling he would really frustrate the fan base if he came and split opinion. And I don't think he's worth the hassle. I think he's got a few attitude problems as well. Especially, I think his mum. There's a problem with his mum.
Is there?
Yeah. His mum is very outspoken.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I remember when she was at PSG, like every week, she was like saying something on the media about PSG. It was so funny. I think his mum's his agent, or used to be anyway. So I don't know if I want to get involved.
Yeah, it says here, player agent relatives.
There you go.
But yeah, his current market value is 16 million. It was as high as 45 million back when he was at PSG. But, you know, with 1 year left in his contract, if Antonio Conte, obviously he'll know a lot more about him. And obviously Fabio Paratici signed him for Juventus, didn't he? So if they believe in him, then why not?
Yeah, of course. If Conte really believes he could be a good influence in the squad and he can get the best out of him, then look, he's a player who, in terms of quality, he might be the best in the midfielder we would have if he would sign him now. But it just, I think, attitude and application of these things. I remember, didn't he? I think he got left out the France squad and he had a whole strop and he was like complaining and he didn't ingratiate himself.
Wasn't he at the World Cup?
I'm not talking about the late squad. There was one. I don't know if he was at the World Cup, by the way, but there was one tournament I remember. Like he got surprisingly left out, and like I think it was then like his mum was going crazy and stuff. Well, I don't know. There seems to be some weird stuff there, and his attitude. I don't know if I want anything to do with it.
All right, fair enough. Put your opinions on Adrien Rabiot in the comments section below. Next up, Sekou Fofana, a Lens publication are talking about him, and they say Tottenham scouts have gone to watch the Lens midfielder Sekou Fofana twice this season, including the recent game against Lille. So Sekou Fofana, central midfielder, a big prospect, 26 years old, contract runs out 2024, current market value at the highest it's ever been in his career at 18 million, a constant fixture in the Lens team, and but he was at the Man City ranks not long ago, Man City under 21s. Do you know much about him? Would you want him in?
I've heard of him. I've heard he's having a great season. I've never really seen him play, but I have heard that he's a player to watch out for. He's having a great season. Obviously plays in central midfield, a position we need. So, I mean, if there's scouting's done and they think this guy could be a gem that is too good to turn down, then yeah, why not? But it's not a player who's everyone's gonna know, that's for sure. And Danny Rose wouldn't have been happy.
Danny Rose most definitely wouldn't have been happy. But interesting enough, he's the captain of Lens, right? But he didn't get called up for Ivory Coast for the AFCON, which is interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, who knows what went on there? But he has had caps for Ivory Coast a while ago. But I don't know. I don't know why he didn't go there. Is that sort of alarm bells, or is that nothing to really take note of?
A bit. So you'd have to, unless there was a reason, like in terms of a personal issue, or like
Doesn't seem like there were injuries or anything.
Or yeah, then there is a bit of an alarm bell, because you'd think if you're good enough, you should be getting to the Ivory Coast team. You're good enough. Although they do have a decent team. I'm trying to think who they play centre mid. I can't remember off the top of my head, but you know, if you're good enough for Tottenham, you should be getting in the Ivory Coast squad, you'd hope. But maybe it's
bench. At least on the bench.
But maybe it's just a case of he's like, this is his breakout year, and maybe all that competition came a bit early for it. If you know
maybe. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Christian Eriksen again. Fabrizio Romano has been talking today, and he says Tottenham and Leicester are really interested in signing Christian Eriksen on a free, but no talks yet. We've heard that Christian Eriksen wants to stay in London, so maybe Tottenham are kind of ahead of Leicester in the pecking order here.
Yeah, I think obviously Leicester have Maddison as well right now, who's pretty much in Eriksen's spot. So unless Maddison might be looking on moving on, Maddison's very much got that place nailed down. I'm not saying Eriksen couldn't go and win that place, but it doesn't seem make sense to bring in Son Eriksen when Maddison's already there, to me. So obviously you want depth, but he might as well come to Tottenham.
Having European football next season.
Yeah, but he might as well come to Tottenham then if he's going to be I don't know. I think Spurs, if we're going to be in Champions League, wants to challenge at a higher level, then that makes more sense. Obviously, there's no guarantee they're even going to be Europa League at this point. But if they could win it and could win the Conference League and go in Europa, then they got more of a shout. But I think he fits our system. If we play with the three in the midfield, he'll probably fit it better than Leicester. I don't know, but maybe if we're not interested, Leicester is a viable option.
And last but not least, let's talk about a few Championship prospects. Mike McGrath of The Telegraph has been talking. He says Tottenham are closely watching these three young EFL talents. First one we're going to talk about is Brennan Johnson of Nottingham Forest, 20 years old, has been deployed as a cam and a winger throughout the season, 41 games, 15 goals this season, and he's a name that a lot of people have been talking about, and we've spoken about him before on the channel, saying that we could be looking for a double deal with him and Jed Spence. Have you seen much of him, and do you think that these kind of options would be a good option for us?
I think it's good that we're looking at young talent, because I think it's important, despite the need to get Conte what he wants and get a team going that's good to go now, it's always important to keep looking at the future and keep looking at the brightest prospects and bringing them in, because there's a lot of talent to be had in the lower league, in the Championship and the lower leagues, and they're especially young talent. So I think for sure we should be looking at these players. I know the guy from Forest, he's been having a great season. I'm not 100% sure of the other guys.
The other one we're going to talk about is Ronnie Edwards, 19-year-old centre-back from Peterborough, who's played 31 games this season. And the other one is Callum O'Hare, 23-year-old, actually not that young, attacking midfielder from Coventry, who's played 42 games and scored 5 goals this season.
Yes, I don't know about the other two, but I've been seeing a bit of the guy from Forest. He looks like a real good talent. So he's one we should definitely be interested in. He's a teenager still, isn't he?
The one from Forest, 20 years old now.
20. Okay, it's not quite.
Yeah.
But still quite doing bits for them.
Yeah, he is. All right, so that is your Tottenham update today. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any more information about these young talents that we have spoken about and any of the other news stories we've brought to you today. Match day tomorrow. Looking forward to having Spurs back tomorrow. Massive game against Brentford. Come and join us for the watch along with Danny Kiriakou and Sean Butler. Thanks everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.